Hi, this is Sonia Frosta for Course 6323, and this is video response 2. Okay, so today I'm talking about a couple of things. The very first thing, we're talking about the needs and challenges during disaster. And the very first thing we're talking about is the impact that challenges during the heroic phase and the impact and the needs that it brings with it. First of all, during this phase is when we're kind of going all in order to cope. So denial is probably the biggest thing that is involved during this phase. We are not wanting to face the impact that the disaster is having on our homes, on our families, on ourselves. And so we kind of just submerge ourselves in it in order to cope and use all our energy and go to extraordinary measures to protect everything that we have, whether it be our family, whether it be our home, and so forth. So this is a time in which unfortunately the challenge is that we don't take care of ourselves enough. Self-care during this time, during this phase, the heroic phase, is very important because we throw ourselves in there wanting to put everything that we've got, all our energy, that we end up not being able to take care of ourselves. So we can get sick, either physically, emotionally, because we don't know if this is going to go on, the length of it. We don't know if this is going to go on for 3 days, 5 days, 2 months. And so therefore we don't know how to pace ourselves. And again, the length of the crisis is uncertain. And so therefore the measure to the energy that we put in is also uncertain. Okay, so we are exhausted, and therefore we need to take care of ourselves emotionally, physically, and spiritually. Okay, sometimes we might say, okay, I don't have time for prayer. I don't have time to sleep. I don't have time to remove myself from the situation. And so for therefore we end up not taking care of ourselves and can get right down to being sick physically and emotionally. Okay. The next thing is the crash point. Okay. The crash point. The honeymoon phase includes a crash point, and this is when the heroic phase stops and the honeymoon phase begins. Okay, and the one who goes through this are the people. And unfortunately, the honeymoon phase, I guess, when you think of a honeymoon, it denotes a happy time. It should be a great time if you apply it to marriage, but not when it comes to disasters. When it comes to disasters, the honeymoon phase is actually when things kind of begin to get real. Okay, people are tired. We are, again, coming back to the crash point. We're tired. We've put everything we've got in during the heroic phase, and now we begin to see maybe the reality of things. And this again makes us tired even more so. If we didn't take care of ourselves before, then this is when really things just kind of come crashing down, emotionally, physically, spiritually, you name it. Okay, and so therefore this is when this may occur. Now, during the disillusionment phase, okay, the type of clinical conditions that may develop from these circumstances are those that are this is where we begin to see the signs of the longer effects. This is where we begin to see, okay, this person's resilience may or may not be enough, and therefore you begin to see beginning signs of PTSD, anxiety, depression that maybe people were not able to overcome. And so this is what we see during the disillusionment phase. Those clinical conditions may develop because we didn't take care of ourselves. It kind of just trickles down hand in hand. That's why they're called phases, and that's why they are in this order. Okay, and the treatments that is best to overcome, there is fortunately there are many. And from what was noted in the videos and the studies is spiritually during this time is when a lot of people become more open because they're very sensitive to spirituality. Normally, during disasters, a lot of Christians do step in to help. And so, therefore, receiving that type of help makes you a little more, it's like your heart opens up to being grateful and therefore maybe accepting to be part of something bigger than you. And so this opens our doors to a lot of spirituality. Okay. And we hope that can serve as one of the treatments for those clinical conditions. But a lot of other things as well happen. There's other supports when nonprofits move out. There's other supports that can be rendered to those maybe for a longer term. Okay, such one of those things was a group from the American Red Cross that is called Neighbor to Neighbor, and those are some of the programs that come in after and are there for a longer period of time. Then we have there's groups that are like self-care. This is when a lot of self-care and those programs are involved. We encourage people to reach out to those mental health services. And maybe we don't see as self-care groups as a mental health service, but it's good to know that you're not alone. And this is where communities are being fostered, and we don't feel like I'm the only one going through this. No, maybe we see that more people are, therefore we don't feel alone. And so therefore this helps us cope and be a little more resilient, knowing that we're not the only ones going through the same thing. And so there's other recreational events are very important as well. Laughter is a great medicine. Okay, maybe not the very best and all the time, but it definitely always helps. So recreation is also very important. There will be churches and other type of, sometimes when there's disasters, there's like concerts and so forth, and just people just need to feel like they're normal, and they reduce that stress. Even if it's momentarily, it makes a big difference in the long run. Okay. And what else? And people are encouraged to seek help if we feel that maybe it's a time also for self-reflection, and we feel like, what, maybe I'm not equipped to cope with this just yet, so let me. And so during this time, it's great to be provided with choices. Okay. And so that we have an outreach, so that we don't feel like it's over and there's nothing else that's going to help and they're done. Okay. And so during this time, it's very important to foster community, meaning to feel like whether I'm going to be part of something as opposed to, I'm part of this community. I'm not by myself. I'm not isolated. I'm not by myself. And again, going back to spirituality, this is where churches are given an opportunity, not just given, but are welcoming the opportunity to bring people towards them, because many people during a disaster let either just maybe their relationship with God was not the same after that. Maybe they go into the why me and so forth. And so during this time, again, that sensitivity and that vulnerability to accepting our Lord then will be more open, because they want to feel like they're part of something. They need to feel like they are part of something. So therefore, a lot of this would help with those people that are maybe in danger of PTSD or anxiety or depression, whether it's short term or long term. Any of these circumstances could help. Okay. I would like to say that I have included in my responses, I have included the following resources: Fundamentals of Crisis Counseling, a book by Jerry Miller, as well as the video that is called Needs and Challenges of Disaster by Houston Christian University. Again, my name is Sonia Frauster for course 6323, Houston Christian University. Thank you.